Kislev, November 9 to 10, as reported by Walter Lynn, formerly of Pirmasens, that the town he came from. Walter Lynn was only 16 years old when arrested. Walter and his family survived and reached the United States after World War II. Walter shared his experiences with Marianne Goldstein, who also lived in Pirmasens until they emigrated to the United States. You know all that. Marianne's father was a rabbi of the congregation and the only synagogue which was burned to the ground. By 1938, the congregation had shrunk from 600 families to 200 families. Most of the young adults had left the country. Now I'm going to read you a new section of what happened on November 10th, the day after the day of the arrests, basically, the night and the morning after. On November 10th, and this is in translation, on November 10th, 1938, we learned that the synagogue was burning. During the previous night, scores of Jews were severely beaten. In Germany, 3,500 Jews were killed as they resisted arrests or shot while attempting to escape. In Pirmasens, 150 Jews were arrested and brought to the Volksgarten, the public garden. Early in the morning, some of the 50 of the prisoners were loaded into a bus and smuggled over the border into France. That same day, the French returned us to Germany. In this group was Walter, the one who wrote this up, is Walter and the rabbi, my father, Rabbi Nullhouse. We were placed against the walls to be shot. During the entire time, the Gestapo escorting us had kept their pistols and revolvers upholsters ready to fire. Finally, at midnight, the 50 were returned to the public garden, joining the other 100 prisoners. Later, we were transported to Ludwigshafen, where all of the Jews from the Palatinate, our region, were being gathered. The prisoners were then loaded into regular railroad cars, and without being told where we were headed, we were on our way to Dachau. No food or liquid had been distributed. Then the train stopped somewhere in the open, and the prisoners were forced into cattle cars prepared to the arrival in Dachau. Hundreds of SS troops, bayonet mounted on rifles, surrounded the train. Many unfortunates were severely beaten. Boarding the cattle cars and later jumping resulted in fractures and in inquiries that we were told that were totally untreated. The first night in Dachau, the prisoners were literally thrown into the barracks by the SS, that's the Hitlerjugend, one prisoner on top of several others. The following day we were processed. That is, our clothes were taken away, we were given boiling hot showers, then our hair was shorn off, we were taken away, we were given hot boiling showers, and then our hair was shorn off. We were given our prisoner numbers. Finally, we were assigned to barracks. Your father, as well as my father, were put into barrack number 18, room 3. There were no chairs or tables in the barracks, but they were equipped with running water and a basic toilet facility. I imagine that. Note, Dachau was the original concentration camp. Later ones had no toilet facilities whatsoever. Throughout all these happenings, no food was received. In a separate description, I have the total food and liquid given to the prisoners. The Nazis allowed 10 pennies daily for the prisoners, but in actuality it was much less. And then he has a little post notice here, which was nice. Throughout these ordeals, your dear father, Rabbi Nullhouse, maintained his spirit. The prisoners spent the entire day out in the open. We were marched in military fashion 20 to 30 miles. The use of toilets was permitted only for a brief period on getting up at 4 a.m. in the morning, at noon, and after returning to the barracks in the evening. The prisoners were counted twice daily on getting up and marching to the assembly area, and again at 6 p.m. Attempts to escape resulted in death by shooting, hanging, or being whipped to death. I thought that was worth including.
Do you think I could get a copy of that?
I don't see why not. Our friend Walter, who lectured, in high schools in Florida, actually had this in German and then translated it into English. You're welcome to it.
Thank you. Miriam, do you use email?
Yeah.
Can I email you?
Can you email to me? Yeah,
Yeah.
my husband doesn't like it.
Okay.
I'm happier when you call me on the phone.
Okay, then I'll keep calling.
I'm on the phone, or else I know that somebody called and I'll call you back.
Okay, cool. But yeah, I would love to get a copy of that, though. Are you sure? Thank you.
There, in a later news, when he had a second wife, he married in Florida. His first wife passed away, I think, shortly after they came to this country. But they sent me a note and showed what they were given to eat every day.
Mm-hmm.
And he's talking about whale food or whale soup 3 times a day. I don't even know what whale soup is.
I don't want to know what whale soup is.
Yeah, so
Anymore?
that, it was pretty